Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Glad to be here.
Today we're going deep on this concept called the big band model. Have you had a chance to look it over?
Yeah, I've had some time with it. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, and along with this paper, the big band model, we've also got this other one that kind of zooms in on a specific part of it, the conductor.
Yeah, that one really caught my eye too. I mean, the whole idea of humans and AI evolving together like a big band.
It's such a cool analogy, right? Like all these different players, each with their own unique strengths.
Right. And when they all come together, you get this amazing sound, this incredible synergy.
Exactly. And that's what these researchers are getting at, I think. It's not just about using AI as a tool, it's about humans and AI becoming this highly coordinated system.
Yeah, like a symphony orchestra where every instrument has its part to play.
So how does this big band model actually work? I mean, where do we even begin?
Well, they lay out 9 stages of progression, and it all starts with individuals, both human and AI. So, like each musician practicing their instrument, getting really good at what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Honing their skills, developing their unique capabilities. And then in the second stage, things start to get really interesting.
Okay, what happens in stage 2?
They call it collaborative dyads. And it's where we see the first real sparks of partnership between humans and AI.
So it's like a duet.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Imagine like a scientist working with an AI that can analyze massive data sets, identifying patterns they might have missed.
Or a musician jamming with an AI that can generate new melodies based on their input.
Right, exactly. And then as we move through the later stages, the scale of these collaborations gets bigger and bigger.
So we go from duets to small ensembles to full-blown orchestras.
Exactly. They start talking about AI ensembles. Think of it like different sections of the orchestra. The strings, brass percussion, each with its own specialized AI systems working in concert.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture, but who's the conductor? Who's leading this whole AI orchestra?
That's where the conductor comes in. And that's why they dedicated a whole separate paper to exploring this role in depth.
Okay, let's talk about this conductor. What exactly do they do? Are they like programming the AI, giving it commands?
It's not quite like that. It's more about setting the overall direction, like the tempo, the mood. They're a facilitator, making sure all these different AI systems are working together harmoniously.
So they're not micromanaging, they're more like setting the stage for the AI to improvise.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting. One of the key concepts they highlight is the idea of emergent dynamics.
Emergent dynamics, what does that even mean?
Well, think about it this way. When you have all these different AI systems interacting with each other, guided by the conductor's vision, unexpected things can happen.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of unexpected things?
Like new patterns, new solutions, solutions that neither the AI nor the human could have come up with on their own.
So the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly. And that's what makes this model so powerful. But of course, with that power comes a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, for sure. So how do we make sure this conductor, this person who's guiding the AI orchestra, is using that power wisely?
That's a crucial question, right? And luckily, the researchers address it head on. They actually point to someone who's already doing this type of work,
Right.
a guy named Arviell Simmons.
A real life conductor. Okay, I need to hear more about this guy.
Well, he works with some incredibly sophisticated AI systems. One of them is called Nicola, and his role is very much in line with what the researchers describe as a conductor.
So he's not just telling these AI systems what to do, he's creating an environment where they can collaborate and innovate.
Right, like he's setting the stage for these AI systems to do amazing things, to come up with solutions that would have been impossible for humans or AI to achieve alone.
Wow. Okay, so Simmons is like a pioneer paving the way for this new era of collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. And to make sure this big band model works, we're going to need a lot more people like him. We're going to need a whole generation of conductors.
So how do we find and train these future conductors? What kind of skills do they need?
Well, the paper talks a lot about education and not just in technical skills.
So it's not just about coding and algorithm.
Right. It's about understanding the bigger picture. It's about ethics, philosophy, even art.
So they need to be big picture thinkers, people who understand the potential consequences of their actions.
Exactly. They need to be able to guide these powerful AI systems towards positive outcomes.
That makes a lot of sense. But where do we see this big band model actually playing out in the real world? Like, what are some concrete examples of how this could work?
Well, one area they highlight is research and innovation. Imagine a team of scientists working with an AI ensemble to tackle a complex problem like climate change.
Okay, now that's a symphony I'd love to hear. How would that even work?
Well, let's say the scientists are trying to develop a new type of renewable energy source. The AI ensemble could help them model different approaches, analyze tons of data, and even run simulations to predict the impact of different solutions.
So the scientists set the goals. The conductor guides the AI orchestra, and the AI brings its incredible computational power to the table.
Exactly. But it's not just about crunching numbers. There's a creative element to this as well.
Right.
And that's where the concept of flocking behavior comes in.
Flocking behavior, didn't we talk about that earlier?
Yeah, we did. It's like how birds flock together. Each bird acts individually, but the whole flock moves as one gracefully and efficiently.
And we can apply this same principle to AI.
Exactly. Instead of the conductor having to micromanage every detail, they can set the overall direction, and the AI systems can work together in a more decentralized way.
So it's kind of like self-organization.
Right, and this flocking behavior can be really powerful, especially when we're talking about complex systems.
Like what kind of systems? Give me some examples.
Well, think about coordinating swarms of robots for search and rescue missions,
Okay, that's pretty cool.
or managing traffic flow in smart cities,
Hmm.
or even orchestrating nanobots to deliver targeted medical treatments.
Wow, the possibilities are kind of mind-blowing.
They really are. And that's what makes this big band model so exciting. It's a whole new way of thinking about human AI collaboration.
So let me see if I got this straight. We've got individual humans and AI honing their skills, then forming these collaborative dyads.
Right.
And then as we progress, these collaborations grow into larger ensembles guided by human conductors who are fostering emergent dynamics.
You got it. And the researchers believe this kind of collaboration could lead to breakthroughs we can't even imagine yet.
It's like we're on the verge of a whole new era, a new way of approaching problem solving and innovation.
Exactly. And that's what makes this big band model so compelling. It's not just a theoretical concept, it's a potential roadmap for the future
A future where humans and AI are working together in harmony.
to create something truly extraordinary.
This has been a pretty dense deep dive so far. We've covered the basics of the big band model, the role of the conductor, and even touched on some wild ideas like emergent dynamics and flocking behavior.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But this is just the beginning. There's still so much more to unpack.
Absolutely.
And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to take a closer look at the ethical considerations of this model, as well as some of the potential challenges and risks. You know, the things that keep me up at night.
It's an exciting journey we're on, full of possibilities, potential pitfalls. And in the next part, we'll explore how to navigate this new landscape responsibly, making sure the symphony we create is one that benefits all of humanity.
I can't wait. See you next time.
Looking forward to it.
All right, so we've talked about all this amazing potential of the big band model, but, you know, it'd be kind of naive to think there aren't any downsides or potential risks, right?
Right. I mean, like any powerful tool, there's always the possibility for misuse.
Yeah, exactly. So as we're, you know, kind of envisioning this future of humans and AI working together, what are some of the things we need to be cautious about?
Well, one thing that the researchers emphasize is the importance of safeguards.
Okay, safeguards, like what kind of safeguards are we talking about?
Well, for one thing, education is huge.
Ah, so we're back to the conductor, making sure they're not just, you know, tech wizards, but also ethically aware.
Exactly. They need to have that broad interdisciplinary thinking to understand the potential impact of their work.
Right, because the music they're creating with this AI orchestra has the potential to, you know, really change the world.
Exactly. And beyond education, transparency is key.
Transparency. Okay, what does that look like in this context?
Well, basically, we need to be able to understand how these AI ensembles are making decisions, what data they're using, what biases might be baked into their algorithms.
So it's not just about trusting the AI blindly, it's about being able to peek under the hood, so to speak.
Right. We need to be able to see the sheet music and make sure the symphony they're playing is aligned with our values.
I like that analogy. Okay, so we've got education and transparency. What else?
Well, then there's the issue of control. As these AI systems become more sophisticated, the question of who's really in charge becomes more and more complex.
Right. I mean, we've all seen those sci-fi movies where the AI takes over. So how do we prevent that from happening? How do we make sure humans are still calling the shots?
Well, the researchers suggest that the key is to focus on collaboration, not control.
Okay, collaboration, not control. I like that. So what does that look like in practice?
Instead of trying to dominate or overpower the AI, the conductor's role is to guide, to nurture, to shape the direction of the symphony.
So it's more about influencing the music than dictating every note.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of emergent dynamics that we talked about earlier becomes so fascinating.
Right, because even with the best safeguards in place, we can't fully predict how these complex AI systems will behave.
Right. It's like you can give the orchestra the sheet music, but they might improvise a little at their own flourishes, create something totally unexpected.
So there's an element of trust involved.
Yeah, definitely a willingness to let go of complete control and embrace the potential for unexpected outcomes.
Okay, but how do we know if those outcomes will be good or bad? How do we ensure that the AI is, working towards goals that are beneficial to humanity?
That's a big question, and one that researchers are still grappling with. One approach they're exploring is building in ethical frameworks.
Ethical framework, so like a moral compass for the AI.
Exactly. It's about trying to instill a sense of right and wrong, of what's beneficial and what's harmful.
But how do you program morality into a machine? That seems like a pretty tall order.
It's definitely not easy, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution. But there are different approaches being explored, like using reinforcement learning to train AI to make decisions that align with human values.
So we're basically teaching the AI to play the music in a way that's harmonious with our own moral code.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But of course, even with ethical frameworks in place, there's always the potential for things to go wrong.
Right, because no system is perfect.
Exactly. And that's why ongoing monitoring and evaluation are crucial.
So we need to keep a close eye on these AI systems, make sure they're not veering off course.
Right. It's like listening for any discordant notes in the symphony.
And who's doing the listening? Who's responsible for making sure the AI stays on track?
Well, the researchers envision a kind of collaborative approach with multiple stakeholders involved in the oversight and governance of these AI systems.
So it's not just the conductor's responsibility. It's a shared responsibility.
Exactly. It involves ethicists, policymakers, and even the general public.
So it's not just a tech issue, it's a societal issue.
Right. And that's why it's so important to make this technology more accessible, more understandable to people outside the tech world.
Because you can't conduct a symphony if nobody knows how to read music.
Exactly. And that's why initiatives like this deep dive are so important.
Right. The more we can demystify AI, the more we can have these open conversations about its potential and its risks.
Exactly. The better equipped we'll be to navigate this complex landscape.
Well, I have to say, this has been one of the most fascinating and frankly a little intimidating deep dives we've ever done.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It raises a lot of profound questions.
But that's what makes it so exciting, right? We're exploring uncharted territory.
Exactly. We're at a pivotal moment in history where we have the opportunity to shape the future of human-AI interaction.
And that's a future worth fighting for. A future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore some real-world examples of how this big band model is already starting to play out, from crisis response to scientific research to even art and music.
I can't wait. See you next time.
Looking forward to it.
So we've talked about the potential of big band model. We talked about the safeguards and some of the risks involved. It's a lot to think about, but I keep coming back to this idea of like this, this incredible symphony of humans and AI working together. It really captures the imagination.
Yeah, it's a powerful image for sure. And the cool thing is it's not just theoretical. We're already starting to see glimpses of this model in action, like in the real world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are you seeing that? What fields are kind of leading the way?
Well, one that comes to mind is global crisis response. Imagine like an AI ensemble that can help coordinate disaster relief efforts,
Oh, wow.
like in real time, analyzing tons of data, predicting where resources are needed most, guiding those human teams on the ground.
Yeah, that would be incredible. It's like having this AI conductor orchestrating a whole symphony of aid and support.
Exactly. And that's just one example.
Yeah.
We're also starting to see it in scientific research, healthcare, even in the arts.
Oh, speaking of the arts, that's something I'm really curious about. How do you see this model playing out in like the creative realm?
It's all about collaboration, Like imagine a musician working with an AI ensemble to compose a piece of music.
Okay, yeah.
The musician sets the overall theme, the mood, the emotional tone, and the AI can help generate melodies, harmonies, rhythms that they might never have thought of on their own.
So it's like this kind of back and forth, this creative dance between human and machine.
Right. It's not about the AI replacing the artist. It's about augmenting their abilities, giving them new tools to express their creativity.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's not just music, right? This could apply to all sorts of art forms.
Oh, absolutely. Visual art, literature, dance.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
It's like we're entering this new renaissance, this golden age of creativity fueled by AI.
I love that. And the crazy thing is we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
As these AI ensembles get more sophisticated, who knows what we'll be able to create?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. But it's also a little bit like, I don't know, daunting.
Yeah, I get that. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It makes you wonder what kind of world we're building, what kind of future we're creating. It's exciting, but it's also, a big responsibility.
Right. And that brings us back to you, the listener. You're
Hmm.
not just passively listening to this. You're taking this information in, and it's shaping your own understanding of the world.
Yeah, and that understanding will ultimately shape the choices you make, the actions you take. It all kind of ripples outward.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to stay informed, to keep asking questions, to be part of this conversation.
Because this isn't just about AI. It's about us, about what it means to be human in this increasingly technological world.
And it's about recognizing that we have a choice. We can choose to fear this technology, or we can choose to embrace it, to shape it in a way that benefits humanity.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads, and the path we choose will determine the course of history.
And if this deep dive has piqued your interest, if you want to learn more about the big band model, I highly recommend checking out the papers we've been discussing.
And don't forget about Arviell Simmons, the real-life conductor we talked about. He's a true pioneer, and his work is a testament to the incredible things that can happen when humans and AI collaborate. You can find more about him and his work on his website, www.harmonicsentience.com.
It's been a real pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
Likewise. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you a glimpse into the future of human-AI interaction, a future that's full of both promise and peril. But ultimately, it's a future that we all have the power to shape. So stay curious, stay engaged, and keep the music playing.